Yes, welcome to the Sports Outlet with Kei-Touch. Oh, so excited to have Coach Kenny Gray.
You know it. Welcome, everyone.
And joining us, our special guest, Corsley Edwards II,
All right.
retired, drafted NBA player and coach. Nothing but the best of the best on the Sports Outlet with Kei-Touch. Corsley, welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, Key.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this is gonna be fun. Like, this is the time of year I like, right? For the NBA. As soon as the All-Star weekend occurs, I know next we're gonna be looking forward to the college March Madness, and then we're getting into the playoffs. Oh my goodness. But let's talk about the All-Star weekend. A lot of people are complaining. They're saying the players aren't playing hard enough. The dunk contest wasn't as good. There's so much to say about the All-Star weekend. My 2 cents about the All-Star weekend is the timing of it, right? I don't know what you can possibly expect from these players, especially if they're in the running for the playoffs. And we'll cover how that works too, because some of them have to work harder than others.
Mhm.
So I want to start with you, Coach Kenny Gray. What do you think about the timing of the All-Star game, all the criticisms they're getting for the lack of effort and new generations doing things differently? Give me your
Well,
stand.
I mean, again, you got to remember the title is the same, but the substance is different. It's like going to get your favorite cake and you said, this is a coconut cream cake. And you realize this is not the same that my grandmother used to make. So the title's the same, but the substance all over the place. They're complaining about the substance. Where when I was in high school, we knew the All-Star game. We looked forward to it to see our heroes, the guys that we knew could play that game. Don't It's none of that anymore. Now that's not just the All-Star game in the NBA. That's also the NFL too. Everybody's going somewhere else with this thing. Is it business or is it entertainment? I'm looking at the entertainment side for the All Star. I want to see the best get out there and perform. We're not getting that. It needs to change. Even our president of the United States said we are not doing a good job. Barack Obama.
I like that, Coach. I like that. I'm gonna play devil's advocate to you. I just think it's the era. The era of kids coming through, the giving to them, and the here you go method. You know what I mean? Like, and do the work for them, and they just walking into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot
Yep.
of guys.
Mhm.
So, like, a lot of guys like Damian Lillard, he learned from veterans like myself. And he went out there and won the 3-point contest without even playing in the game. That had to be first and foremost put out there that, nobody's ever done that. He's
Right.
won 3 times. He's with Larry Bird and them as well. But
Hmm.
he went out there and never played a game, but he
Right.
was learned under the lineage of someone veteran, veteran leadership. Like for
Hmm.
myself, I came under
Hmm.
Vlade Divac, Chris Webber, and Mike Bibby's and those guys who actually did, made it to the finals against the Lakers and Kobe and Shaq, So
Right. 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 Right.
they taught me how to be that way. So Damian Lillard came up under that lineage. But as far as the coaching part goes, I think it stinks. I just think it stinks. It's bad basketball. You know what I
Bad
mean? Like,
basketball.
you're
Yeah.
giving the younger kids, the younger generation who's playing 6 to 7 games a week at AAU form or whatever, and you're showing them like, okay, you can go out and do this all day long where you're not really getting any coaching behind it.
Right.
You're not really learning how to play the game. You're not really learning how to put your best foot forward without nobody giving you something. If
Hmm.
you're not the superstar on the team,
Hmm.
hey, you might not play for the top AAU programs. But these kids now are seeing, hey, I could be a LeBron James. I know Coach Key I know Key likes LeBron James, and all that stuff. But like, he has lineage to the game. You know what I mean? Like, and it's gonna be a sad day when he retires.
Yeah.
As the coaching
Yeah.
part, because
Hmm.
you're gonna miss that era because he played through all of the errors.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little different. So that's my coaching and player aspect of it.
See, only here will you get that coach who's also a retired, drafted NBA player to give us that inside thought process on that. Actually, I thought the dunk contest was pretty cool. I really did. So I was kind of surprised what everyone was saying about it. I really liked Carter Bryant from the Spurs, but ultimately Kashad Johnson from the Heat won. It was entertaining to me. So I don't know what people are complaining about.
Carter smoked it. I'm just going to say that all out there. He really blew it. You know, like he came out with the amazing Vince Carter dunk.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
He mimicked Vince Carter to the T, same height, same weight, and all that stuff. And the second dunk you couldn't finish. You know, like you had it in the bag. You know, like and low key because of the San Antonio Spurs, the way they've been coming through with Dylan Harper's the draft pick this year. You had Stephen Castle the year before that, and then you had Wemby. You know, like they all won something, and it feels bad because I don't think San Antonio is going to win that. Maybe the championship this year, I don't know, but yeah, like, but he didn't get the opportunity to express himself and show himself that he should have won that. You know, and it's kind of like a damper for him. But I think he's Kobe Bryant's nephew. I think some form.
Wow,
it's in the bloodline.
Yeah, it's a little, you know, it's a little suspect there, but. Keyshawn, he was straight Bay. He went straight Bay with it, and I love it. He brought E40 out, dunked over E40, you know, especially in our era. We love E40, you know, so and I played out on the West Coast too with Sacramento, so it was it was beautiful, you know. I just wish Carter Bryant could have pulled that out just for Bryant Kobe's legacy, you know, for that Bryant legacy.
Yeah, you got to remember when I grew up in the Dr. J era. Thompson. A lot of people don't know David Thompson. David Thompson could jump out of the freaking gym, as they call it. Dr. J, yes, but people don't understand how Duncanstein. Oh my God, we had all these guys that could dunk, and to see them all compete against each other, we went to our TVs. We looked at our newspaper at the time because we didn't have social media. Today, they say that LeBron destroyed it. This is what they're saying. I hear sports media all the time. When LeBron said he's not going to do it along with the big names, it took the dunk down. That's what they're saying. I don't know about that. Because if you can't dunk, you can't dunk. But if you're someone who's creative and they can do it, it's still entertaining. But let's do it on a higher level more to see these dunks, even on the college level. And then as they go into the pros, ask them to be a part of the NBA. It's an experience at the end of the day. The All-Star game is nothing more than an experience for the fans.
Nothing more than an experience. And that brings me to speak a little bit about the Harlem Globetrotters. What they do is an experience. You know, that's entertaining. It's really entertaining. And I don't know. Again, my issue is the timing. I don't know. I feel like that they should have the All-Star game after the season ends, in my opinion, if you want the most from the players. How can you get that when they're facing the playoffs? That's just my 2 cents.
I'm gonna tell you this. It's like, truth be told, like it's just the week within the season. It's the break of that week. Because like all the rest of the, you know, other players who didn't make the All-Star, it's a break.
Right.
You know what I mean? That 82-game season is very, very strong, very, very strenuous. Night in, night out. Some nights you're waking up not even knowing what cities you're in. So in order to take that week in between, I think is good, but it's not, you know, the product being put out there is not, you know, sufficient enough, you know, to maintain. I don't think so. That's just my.
I think they need to compete more. I think the competitive side, the juices are off. Right, from a coaching standpoint, what am I coaching out there? What am I sending you on the floor for? What are we running? What's that? From coaches, are you kidding me? You don't need a coach. I just think the substance has taken a hit. You know,
that goes back to the AU ball. That goes back to AU. You know what I mean? Like you just, like I said, I told someone today, I said, man, look, AAU basketball, you're playing 6 games a week and 1 day of practice. And overseas in Europe, you see his Luka Doncic's and the Jokers and all that stuff. They practice 6 days a week and play once. So it's the reverse of what happened. And now you're seeing the results of practice. You know, as AI would say, practice. You know what I mean? We're talking about practice here. You know what I mean? Yeah. But some of the guys out there really have that lineage to be that man like that. Like AI could do it without practice. But a lot of these kids today, they think they can do it that way because that's the era that most of their parents came through. It's like, well, we're going to be like AI. We're going to put our kids just in AAU ball, just let them play because see what they're going to turn out to be. But like it's crazy, man. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a night and day situation for me playing 14 years overseas and then playing 3 years in the NBA. Like I can see the difference. But, you know, in the NBA, you really have. And now with the addition to the G League and really sending the players down to the G League to be able to get some reps, I think that's really good, too. Because
let me ask you this question. LeBron Kobe came out years ago and said that the European AAU is much better than the American AAU.
Oh, for sure.
You've been on 14 years. Can you speak to that?
For sure. Like, they break them down from the age 9 on up. Until they say, okay, well, they're able to spot the talent as these kids are younger. Like now it's just, okay, he had a good game, so he do a big YouTube clip. Now it's, you know, he's the top player in the country. You don't really know what background he has. You don't know if he's able to go through the ups and downs in a real life game. You know what I mean? Because he's never really experienced because everybody's always giving him the glory. But overseas, these kids aren't getting the glory. They're going through step-by-step booklet to making sure they're prepared to be able to play the pro game.
Right.
And they're making real players out of them over there. You know, I've actually coached Joker. I coached Yusuf Nurkic. Wow. You know, I've seen Luka Doncic plays like a Bogdanovic. Like I played against these guys who's playing in the NBA and they're going to have longevity because they know how to maintain their bodies because you don't, first and foremost, overseas, you don't have the resources to make sure your body recovers. You know what I mean? So now they know how to maintain their bodies in this 82 game season and push themselves forward and you know, take off over top of the American players. I hate to say it like that, but hey, I got 14 years overseas. So
and that's pretty cool. And that's a great experience to have and be able to talk about. And we see how a lot of the sports here that are dominant, we saw the rise with basketball overseas way before we saw it with football, American football overseas. But with the playoffs, everything has kind of changed over the years, how you get in the playoffs. Now they have this play-in thing. So a total of 16 teams make the NBA playoffs, consisting of the top 8 teams from the East and the West Conference. The top 6 seeds secure a direct entry, while the final 2 spots are determined by a play-in tournament for teams ranked 7th through 10th. And then it goes further with that. So in each conference for the teams ranked 7th through 10, the 7th and 8th seeds have 2 chances to win 1 game, while the 9th and 10th seeds must win twice to advance. So, Coach, knowing that, is it harder to prepare a team for a one and done mentality like the play-in and kind of like what they do in the NFL?
Well, first question is, who won the play-in this year?
Who won the play-in? No, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet?
No.
So last year it was the Knicks, right? That won the play-in?
I believe
that's the in-season tournament. That's the in-season tournament.
Oh, we're talking about the in-season tournament. Oh, you're talking about the play. Okay.
I'm talking about the play-in for the playoffs, Coach. Play-in for the playoffs.
I'm thinking
about the whole thing for you.
Yeah, that other
play-in
thing.
for the playoffs.
Well, the play-in.
Let me throw it to Corsley. Corsley, do you think it's harder? I'm gonna go back to you, Coach. Corsley, do you think it's harder with that one and done mentality for the lower seeds?
I like it because you're going to get rid of them. You get them up out of there, it's going to be some real competitive basketball. You know what I mean? Like some of them guys are just saying, hey, I'm getting an extra check on the 1st to the 15th, you know, just to be able to do this play-in. But half of them at that time, bodies beat up, they ready to go home. So I think the one game is pretty good because you're already playing 82 games. If you're having a play in at the end of the season with 82 games and play an extra 6-7 game series or something like that, it's going to be a little difficult for them. Even just to move forward, then you're not going to have really, really good basketball playing for the next few rounds to come along. So I think it's good for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coach, what are your thoughts?
I don't like to play in. I don't like to play in. I like when you earn the right to be in the playoffs. I don't need anybody else, close. No, you didn't make it. We're going with our top 8 or our top 10, and that's it. No play-ins.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
I think they did it to make it more entertaining. I think they did it for that purpose because it used to be the way you said, Coach. It was just straight up 8 from the East and the West.
I don't like it. I just like the ones who made it, who earned it. Let's go. It gives the incentive for each year to be a part of that grade 16.
So you would rather them go back to the way they used to have it, where the top 8 in the East, top 8 in the West, and then just line it up, bracket it off the way they should.
Would you shorten the format of that, Coach? Like since
the format,
that's a lot of games.
Well, the format used to be the first 3 games used to be the best of 3. Then they went to the 5 or 7, right? Yeah. Or was 5-7. That's what I believe in. Yeah. I don't believe in that one. The one doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
You get one more
on any given day.
Player.
Right. On any given day, I could have a good day. Mm-hmm. Right? But in a series, think about all the folks who lost the first game before and come on and won the series. What if they only had a one and done, but they're the better team? No, I don't like it. Give me the best 3 out of 5, best 3 out of 3 or 7. I like that better.
That heartbreak is going to bring them. That heartbreak is going to make sure that they don't fall into that position next year, though.
But that's the incentive. That's the incentive to get better. Come to practice earlier. Start sooner. Don't go to Cancun. Yeah. Go to the gym. That's what I say. Go to the gym.
I think we got in trouble with that Cancun thing when I was kid.
That's right.
Let's break this down though. Who we're looking at? Like right now, I'm gonna go with the East. Right, the top is the Pistons. The Celtics are 5 games behind them. The Knicks are 1 game behind them. Then the Cavs, they're tied up with them. The Raptors, 76ers, Magic, and the Heat are right now at number 8. So you have the Heat with 29 wins all the way up to the Pistons, who are number 1 with 41 wins, right? And just kind of think about these teams I'm calling out because I want to know who you looking at this for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to the wild, wild West, right? It's a tight race, right? You have OKC in the lead, then you have the Spurs 2.5 games behind. Then my team, the H-Town Rockets. Number 3, then you have the Nuggets, the Lakers. I love LeBron. The Timberwolves, the Suns, the Warriors, and it's funny to see them at number 8. So out of those teams, I want to start with the West because the Wild Wild West has been wild for a while. Corsley, who do you like in the West?
Oh man, the West is a very difficult place to choose and select. You got to also go with OKC because you got to remember Shea. Shea is a problem, and he takes over games easily. But then you also have Wembanyama over on the West as well with Spurs. Then you have KD. Then you have Steph might come out and just turn on Steph moments. Like Denver, you got Joker, MVP, 2-time MVP. So it's a little different. It's a little difficult to choose. But if I had to choose one, I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets.
Okay. In the West, who are you looking at, Coach Kenny Gray?
Well, the OKC, they speak volume. They're a good basketball team. They are, but they can be beat. LeBron made it very clear. That's a good basketball team. But the Lakers is one good player away from playing against anybody. One good player. And if you just get that one player, it doesn't matter. Because I'm going to say it. Now, you know how I am, Key. I said Houston and Seattle Super Bowl. You heard me say We missed it,
You
right?
did, and it should have happened. It should have happened. I'm gonna give you credit.
I'm gonna say, if the Cavs and the Lakers made it to the final, the greatest final you will ever see for marketing, period. And I guarantee you that would be LeBron's last.
Yeah, he retired for sure. He's retired. No, he's gonna finish
because the Cavs.
He's gonna finish in Cleveland though. He might get traded to Cleveland next year.
They may, but they are sitting right where they need to be. If I was on the East, I'd rather be the Cavs. I'm going to go with the Lakers. I'm a diehard Laker team. One person away. We can do this. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Okay, so I have to give my pick. I'm sticking with my home team, the Houston Rockets down in H-Town. I think they're going to be, and not just me being biased to them, they drafted, or made sure they had KD, got KD on the team to give them some veteran experience in the playoffs. They seeded well last season. It was the first time they actually made the playoffs since Harden, the bearded one, left. And they're finding their identity with their new coach. She's been there a couple of years now. And they made it to the playoffs. And you brought up the Warriors, Corsley. You know, Steph, yeah, he's a nightmare, right? The Rockets should have beat them, but that veteran experience got the better of them. You know, they have one of the best twins, you know, the twin duo. Man, I see you.
4 rings, Steph. Look, 4 rings. You know, that don't come easy.
Yeah. So, but I think the Rockets, I'm going to really be looking at them in the playoffs to kind of see what KD is bringing to the team to help them with that veteran experience in the playoffs. Because, Corsley, as you know, and coaches, you know, the regular season is one thing. Right? You can seed out well, be at the top or top 4 or 5. But when you get to the playoffs and you have a baby team, they all been in the league 1 or 2 years. Mm-hmm. The veterans, I don't care if they're ranked number 8. And we saw that last season. I saw it personally when the Warriors got a hold of the Rockets. It was just that veteran experience that blew them out. Yeah, they're younger and they can go up and down the court and they're active and play defense. But Steph Curry, when he gets on fire, what are you going to do?
You can't stop that.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to say this. Look, everybody got to be scared of the Detroit Pistons. Because you got to look at it. All those guys have won except the Detroit Pistons. Nobody on the Detroit Pistons has won. Just like last year with Shea and OKC, nobody's ever won a championship. So you gotta look at it as
the hunger factor.
All these guys, LeBron's won, Steph's won, KD's won. Who else? Everybody on the West won championships. There's nobody. Draymond Green even got 4 championships. So Klay Thompson, if you want to go to Dallas as well, Wemby has never won. I think Detroit Spurs might be the finals, but I don't know. That's my guess, but I want Denver to win. I really want Denver because I got ties with Denver. That's my spot. I love Denver, and it's a beautiful place.
Mile High City.
Oh yeah.
See where Coach went. He went into the aspect of being hungry enough to go get it, right? Because they all have and we don't have. So wait a minute, are we waiting for someone to give it to us? Or do we go take it? I love what you just said. Now, I think that's what OKC did last year. We going to take it. Now, that injury helped a little bit. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. But at the same time, I'd rather have a hungry team versus a team waiting to be fed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to think. You got to go back to the era of Michael Jordan winning 6. All them guys was hungry, and that's what made them better players and better basketball. Because them guys we got to knock MJ off, and MJ the heck with y'all not knocking me off at all. So y'all better get better over the summertime.
I'm glad you brought that up because you're talking about the MJ era, and you brought up the Pistons previously. Let's go back to the 80s, early 90s Pistons and how brutal they were. If you beat the Pistons because you were getting beat down, how many beatings do you think MJ took from the Pistons back then when it was brutal? You couldn't just do the theatrics that a lot of them do today and just, I just got touched and get a foul. They were getting beat up.
On the roll. It's you better get up and keep it moving.
You measure that on how many whirlpool baths they took after the game. versus how many people put their clothes on and go home. See, back in that era, they was in the locker room getting nursed and taped and sitting in that bath because their bodies hurt. And then they came back and they didn't take off no games. Remember, they played all their games. There was no, well, I'm tired today. No. You played.
You said no.
No, you played. That was that era.
Come hella high water, you're playing.
And if that's the evidence, and if that's the criteria in the data, tell me how it fares to that, because this has already been done. If you hadn't gotten to that, or you don't live up to this, look, we're just talking apples and oranges here.
I think that era of dominance is over. Truth be told, like maybe in our lifetime watching sports, the dominance era might be over with. But it's a lot of young talent, and everybody has somebody on the team.
Yes.
Back then, you had Mike, you had the Barkleys, which was my favorite player, Charles Barkley. That's why I wore number 34.
Oh my God, yes.
Isaiah Thomas's. You had who else?
Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, Rodman. Yeah. I mean, the 90s, 80s, 90s were crazy.
Xavier Daniels, excellent. The Knicks, David Robinson, Tim Duncans. Like you had,
goodness,
Kevin Garnett.
And a lot of people didn't understand how tough Rasheed Wallace was. Rasheed Wallace was a freaking dog, man.
Chauncey Billups.
Kenny Smith, I'm gonna throw him in there. Kenny Smith.
Yeah.
I'm naming Rockets, but Houston Rockets. I'm gonna know the Rockets.
He's also Carolina too. So
Sam Cassell. We're gonna put
Sam Cassell. Yes.
That's 2 L's. That's my buddy.
How did I forget Sam Cassell? Oh my goodness, he was killing it for the Rockets back then. And I just have to bring this up because I thought it was so funny.
But I'll throw this last one at you. Steve Francis didn't make
franchise.
Oh man. Steve Francis
played for Houston too. Yeah, franchise. But I remember back with the old Rockets, and I just have to mention this. Hakeem Olajuwon said this about Shaquille O'Neal. He said, if Shaq could shoot free throws, we would have to change the rules of the game.
Yeah.
And that's where that whole hack of Shaq came from and all of that. Because he was just big. And I remember when he was in college breaking down, tearing down the goals. And they wouldn't let him play. And I'm glad he went to the NBA.
No, that's how I used to mimic my game because I was always a big guy. I broke a backboard in Hawaii at one time in college in a real NCAA game. And my mimic was Shaq. Like I used to love the Shaq attack dunk. Shaq was my guy. Shaq, I actually got to meet him when we played against him when he was with Miami and I was with Orlando Magic. So like I was like, dude, like you don't even know the inspiration you had on my game. And that's what put me and got me sitting here to be able to walk in the back, to be able to talk to you in your locker room as a player. You know what I mean? So shout out to Big Shaq, man. Shaq is that. You know what I mean? Like he was a Wilt Chamberlain type of player, even though I didn't get to see Wilt play, but yeah, he was that.
Corsley, were you hanging on to the goal when you were doing that to bring it down like Shaq did? Did you just kind of hang there for a minute?
I'm gonna tell you a quick story. My coach was like, if you miss another layup, you're not playing anymore. So at the end of the day, I just jumped up as high as I could and came down with the rim.
and guess what you said? If I don't score, nobody scores.
Exactly.
I like your game,
son. In a game.
And the whole thing down. Oh, I like that.
Gentlemen, I want to switch into a rapid fire little short segment. Fast answers, no overthinking. First thing that comes to mind. Are you guys ready?
Let's get it.
Coach Kenny Gray, I'm starting with you. And Corsley, I just want you to answer right after.
Gotcha.
One word. What wins more? We're talking about the NBA. What wins more in March and April? Talent or culture?
Talent.
Culture.
Corsley?
Culture.
All right. Number two, if your star player goes down before the playoffs, do you tighten rotations or expand the bench? Coach.
Expand the bench.
Corsley.
Expand the bench.
All right. Would you rather coach the league's leading scorer or the league's best defender? Coach.
Defense.
Defense wins championships.
All right. Game on the line. Down 1, 10 seconds left. Are you drawing up a play for your superstar or whoever has the hot hand? Coach.
Oh, I'm going with the hot hand.
Corsley.
I'm going with the superstar. That's why we pay him the big bucks. Take the pressure off of me as a coach.
You say that's why you paying the big bucks. All right, that was fun. That was fun just to see your responses just that quick on that. And I just want to delve into this a little bit. We talked about a little bit about how long the NBA season is. What do they play? 82, 84 games. And that's regular season games before the playoffs. And I just want your thoughts now with sports betting. They've had some challenges with that, people getting in trouble. How do you think sports betting is going to impact the NBA overall in the next couple of years, Corsley?
I was just taught I came through an era, it's gonna mess it up. You know, I came from an era. I came from an era where, you know, they played NCAA. It's like, don't bet on it. I used to see posters all over the place. Don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. So like, you know, like it's gonna cause a lot of stress from the fans first and foremost, because they might lose out on a night because maybe their player isn't playing that night. But I think betting is gonna kind of like slow the game down a little bit and make it a little watered down, because people are like, oh, they cheating. That's where the cheating factor comes in. They like, oh, they rigged and all this other stuff. But who want to rig in the ACL torn out there? Who want to rig with, you know, falling and breaking their arm or something, you know? But betting is going to mess it up a little bit. I think it's going to mess it up. You know, I don't bet on anything, so I'm gonna just say that just because that's my choice. Yeah. But you know, if to each his own, and you know, I think betting on my behalf and what I'm saying is going to mess it up a little bit.
So I have a question to take that a little further. Do you think betting will mess it up more in the playoffs or during the regular season?
During the playoffs. Yeah.
Why
Regular season, like you see how the players don't play sometimes, so it's not even a problem. You know, during the playoffs is when it counts the most, so it's gonna be more higher stakes.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's gonna mess up more in the playoffs.
Coach?
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of things and a lot of factors. Like the Wizards, they won last night. You know what the commentator's saying? Oh, that's bad for them. Why? You're out there to win. But when you talk about betting, it's a different situation. Who are you controlling? I think betting should have certain avenues that you could bet on. You could bet on anything in sports today. You know, what color jersey they're going to come out tomorrow or whatever. That's ridiculous. Look, it's going to mess it up. It's already messed up based off of what I've seen, right? You're looking at these folks who are point shaving. You got college, trickling down to the college levels. It shouldn't be in the game. I just think betting should not be in sports like this. I think it's messed up. Someone can stay home and make $1 million staying home. How does that help the game?
Yeah. And it's interesting you brought that up about the Wizards. I just had to check because they weren't part of the top 8 or nowhere near it. They're number 15 in the East. 15. So, I mean, they're fighting, you know, to be, you know, 16. I mean, they're number 14. I'm sorry. They're the only team worse than them in the East are the Pacers. It's like they both have won 15 games. So they're like fighting for the lowest spot. So were they talking about that as far as drafting is concerned or betting?
Well, and that's where the tanking is coming in. That thing
I'm tracking.
Tanking, right? And it is all correlation into who shows up, who doesn't show up. Let's lose this so we can get this draft pick. Listen, and of course you can speak about it better than I can. You're there to win. You're professionals. Yeah. You're not taught to lose. When I come in and say we shouldn't win this game today, that means I'm teaching you not to be the best you can be. I'm teaching you how to lose. And it goes on. It's sad.
That's why you have a lot of, discernment with the players in the front office, because the players in the front office are always at odds, because it's like front office like, shoot, we can get more money if we get this number one draft. You know what I mean? Like, and that's for the owner's sakes, you know what I mean? But as the players who are real players who really care about wins and losses, like me, I don't like the losers. That's one thing. I don't care whatever avenue is going down. Losing is not a part of my DNA.
Part of it.
I don't want it. And to say something, that's why a lot of players get traded, I think. You know what I mean? They open their mouths and say, hey, like, why are we tanking? And you've heard over the years, some players saying, why are we tanking? Like, we got something good here. We got a good camaraderie of guys who want to play together. And that's what basketball is about. 5 guys on the floor that want to play together, not 5 guys and a coach or a front office saying, hey, coach, we better lose these next 5 games.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's tough.
So since you brought up the Wizards, Coach, I'm just going to go down this rabbit hole real quick. So I want to know your thoughts on Anthony Davis being with the Wizards now and Trae Young. Corsley.
I like it.
I like it.
The Wizards need someone like that. Trae Young, who doesn't care, and an Anthony Davis that does care. You got 2 different ends of the spectrum, so everybody else will fit in between. You know what I mean? So I think it's good for the Wizards to have AD and Trae Young, because Trae Young is cold. He's cold. Like, he does and all that type of stuff. He goes in New York and gives them 50. You know what I mean? He goes anywhere and give them 50. And it's just making sure, these guys know that they almost to the end of their rope. I mean, that's another thing with playing with the Wizards. A lot of guys who come to the Wizards are at the end of their, at the end of their careers. And I think it can rehabilitate Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis is a problem. I almost seen this dude give a quadruple double in real life. That's very, very difficult to do. You know what I mean? By himself in New Orleans. So it was something else. Like, and I think that, with him being here with a more lax situation where the pressure isn't on him like a LA or New York, it's gonna be better for him, because now he don't have the pressures of doing that, because he has another superstar in Trae Young, which the media hates and everybody hates him. I love him. He's a goon when it comes to basketball.
Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
I agree with you. I love it. They're one person away to have a great group of guys. One with what you just said with Trae and with AD. You give a nice shooter, someone that's really a good shooter, or a Jordan type, an athlete, with the mix of that, you got yourself you got something good in DC. And maybe that's what they're playing to get, because when I watch these college kids play this year, oh my damn, there are some amazing young talent that's coming out of college. That Arizona team, oh my God.
Yes.
That BYU team.
They can just get some of that talent on the floor the next 2-3 years, they're going to be fine. We'll be fine. So I like that.
And going back to the Wizards, the last time they had a winning season was the 2017-2018 season. They finished 43-39. Now, their last season with at least 50 wins was before I was born, which was the 78-79 season.
World champions. World champions. And they were the Bullets. And they were the Bullets.
Big E, West Sun South. That's right. Dandridge, all of them. I watched all those guys. Yeah, they were a good team.
So that's good for DC, because that seems to be the only area where they don't have any improvement. You see what's going on with the Commanders. They have some improvement there. The Nats have been tight. The Caps have been tight. So that's good that they're investing in their team, because this is, after all, the nation's capital. Got to have a good basketball team. And like you said, they haven't done anything since they've been the Wizards. They haven't been good since they were the Bullets. No. And this was the murder capital in the United States when they were fighting with New Orleans for it. But
since Deshaun Stevenson said something to your favorite player, LeBron James. You know what I mean? That was when LeBron James went on the baseline, laid it up, and ended all of the Wizards' hopes and dreams. You know, so yeah.
Oh,
LeBron James shattered a lot of people's dreams. So I'm gonna say that too. You know, he definitely shattered the Wizards' folks' dreams.
Yes. So, Corsley, here we're all about the give back, back. What do you have to say to young athletes that have hopes and dreams of playing on the pro level?
What I have to say is don't do what the masses are doing. If you're out here doing videos and showing off what you're capable of doing, all that stuff, show it in a real life game. You know, the people will find you, the NBA will find you, the college coaches will find you. Stop mimicking what you see on social media. Do and find your own niche at how it is, because everybody's jump shot is different. So, you know, learn and understand your jump shot before you try to mimic somebody else's.
Yeah,
I like that.
Good advice.
That's solid.
I would say, don't go to Cancun with your mother on and your family on vacation. Stay home during the summer and work on your game. When no one is watching, you should be out there working. When you get in the game, like Corsley said, show it. Show it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Don't go on vacation. Stay home.
That's what I'm teaching my son now. My son is, you know, he's a red shirt at Central Connecticut State University, and he didn't get the shots that he was supposed to get. And he realized that he wasn't working hard enough. Like I was telling him, I was like, get up, go run 2 miles, go do this, go do that. Like, because I've been there, I showed him. And now that he's paying attention to it, now he's progressing. And now he's getting the opportunity to shine. Now he's going to have the opportunity to say, hey, I'm following Dad's footsteps. But just work on your game. You know, work on your game by yourself, and then incorporate everything else around you.
Sacrifice that time.
And what I love what both of you guys have said, some of the things that you said that was not basketball specific, it goes across the board, right? Practice makes perfect. Understand the fundamentals. It doesn't matter if you're playing sports, if you're in a marching band like I was in high school, if you were, whatever you're trying to perfect, practice makes perfect. Do what others are not doing. You have to stand apart from everyone else when it's a group of talented people. What makes you different, right? And that goes across the board, where you're talking sports or just life, right?
And play outside.
And it goes back to Corsley.
Play outside. Play on the concrete. Do not getting, you know, baby with the indoor courts and all this stuff and the $300 sneakers and the $50 pants. Play inside. Play in a dirty white t-shirt and don't come in until your shirt is completely black.
Of course, we said go old school with it. I mean, I know that time
old school.
Because I have to tell y'all this real quick. I'm so into sports because I didn't really have a choice, right? My father was always watching games, and then my uncle, who always had me, he was always playing basketball. He's good friends with John Lucas and a couple other people, and he used to play ball with them on the weekends. And I mean, I would go to the park with him, right? I was like 5, starting at 5. All day, these guys are playing. All day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I'm watching them and my uncle Duncan, because he was young back then. But, you know, it builds character, and they practice. My uncle did it for the workout and playing with pros, right? He loved playing with pros and seeing how they played, and it was a good exercise. So we don't see that today, where guys are outside playing, like you said, Corsley. You brought me back to my childhood. They have courts outside playing all day. Go ahead, Coach.
Listen, when you can walk down the street after with your uncle and everybody playing, and then look on the porch and see everybody sleep on the porch, knowing that they were on that basketball all day long, that's a sight to see, because everybody knew, and while they were tired, they were playing all day. They were on that court all day. And again, the community, that's how I went. Sleep.
That's how it went. But we used to drive like 30, 40 minutes to the court. Let me explain. This was serious. And it was outdoors.
They in Texas. Look, they in Texas. That's all spread out all over the place. They don't have no neighborhood.
Yeah, it wasn't no neighborhood. I was like, nah, they didn't know that. But
the only one could sleep was you guys, but the driver couldn't go to sleep. So everybody else was tired.
Though. He would go to sleep when we get to the house and be ready for the next day. Shout out to Uncle Amos for that experience.
And we go to people's houses afterwards to go to the water hose and drink it out the water hose. That was our water. Look, go to someone's house.
I want nothing to eat. I want water. I don't want nothing to eat. Just water. That's it.
Water.
Like Corsley saying, go outside and play, take it old school, and play with those guys in the streets, because it's a lot of bowlers that are out in the communities that may have played in high school, but just maybe a lot of. Go ahead, talk about that, Coach.
It's a lot of knowledge that you're not going to get always in the high school coaches. I'm a high school coach, but there's things that I knew before I got into high school. My brother would always say to me, now, we are the ones we never had, because we were taught by those individuals who studied the game, watched the game, couldn't play the game on this level, but knew the game. That knowledge is real on the courts and in the neighborhood, because that's what they do all day. They're out there all day long.
Yeah. I got it. One little story. A guy, this was a good friend of mine. His name is Paul Kane. He used to call me Big Smoothie, because he was like, okay, like, don't you know how big you are? Like, I was like, dude, like, I don't really know. Like, I'm 6'7" at the age of 17. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what I was up against. He's like, turn the ball over and dunk the ball. You know what I mean? And this is from outside back. You know, and ever since then, like, I just started dunking on people. I even broke outdoor goal. You know what I mean? Just because that's how strong I was. You know, I've broken an arm before. You know, a guy tried to block my dunk. I broke his arm before. You know, so like, just being and listening to those guys outside can enhance your game tremendously. You know what I mean? But it's not a lot of guys that do it. Like, you might see me in my neighborhood court. I go out there and shoot around with the kids. I don't tell them what I did. I don't tell them what I've done. And they be like, oh, like, oh man, OG, you nice. I'm like, I know. Humbly, I say, I know. You know, I'm not gonna say it out loud, because these kids like, whatever. You know what I mean? But learn from the people that's outside hooping, because they actually have a mentality that you don't even really understand. As far as it teaches you the game. He'll teach you the game, or she'll teach you the game. Because now you have women out there playing as well. So, you know, it's like, you learn from them OGs, them guys who there, instead of saying, oh man, you old, you can't do this, you can't do that. Learn from them.
And I had the power to hire some of them, right? When I got a head coaching job, I knew to go get that nurtured me, mentored me. If you can do that for me with them, excellent. And I would go get them and hire them for my coaching staff.
See, you don't know where your opportunities are coming from, and that's the bottom line. Right. So when you put it in and you give 100%, 110%, whatever you can give, you're all the time. You don't even know how you're being watched. And Corsley, just briefly speak to that, because like, I've known of players that played in college, they went pro, and then they were able to go back to their college and coach, or go back to their college and be a trainer. And just talk about that real quick, briefly about that.
Yeah, don't burn any bridges. Don't burn any bridges. Like, because you are on that high horse and you wearing, you know, you have your cape on, riding around with your amp, you know, your guard up. Like, don't burn any bridges, and that way you can leave the door open for the opportunity of coaching at the end of the day. Just make sure you listen. You're an active listener. Make sure you pay attention to detail. And as my coach used to say, don't sleep in bed. You know what I mean? So I call it SIB. So, you know, like, just make sure you pay attention to all full detail, because at the NBA level, if you mess up one time, you might be out of there.
And what I'll say also, when I was listening to Michael Jordan speak, and they asked him about coaching, he said, never will I be a coach. Why? Because he said, in order for me to coach, they have to be on my level. So therefore, sometimes you're not right and you're not meant to be a coach. Because to get a whole team of Jordan, do you know what you have to do, man? Nah.
Sacrifice.
No. That's right. So therefore, I think he's made the best decision not to coach. Now you know Magic tried it, right? Because Magic has that thing. But
look at this. Let's just talk about this real quick since you brought that up, Coach. Look at these players that these kids, like, for example, your kids are seeing Charles Barkley right now, right? Kenny Smith right now, Shaquille O'Neal right now. They were not born when they were in their prime and they're playing. So let's look at the life after your professional career, and they're able to still make money, right? Through these shows. And
they're a brand. They are a brand.
They are a brand.
They are a brand. Each one of them, their own brand, who represents the NBA. Same thing with Corsley. He has a tattoo or brand on him, say property of, because he knows how to get in the door. People like us, well, I want to get in. Well, wait a minute. Do you have that brand? Do you have the? No, I don't. Well, how do you get in? Well, you better know somebody to get in there.
Yeah.
Well, these folks are brands now. Shaquille's a brand. Kenny's a brand. You know Chuck's a brand. He's a crazy son of a gun. But everybody knows Chuck to be Chuck.
Yeah.
He's straightforward. He's a straight shooter.
I'm not a role model. I remember reading his lips. He said other words.
That's commercial ever. Like that's the best commercial ever. That's how, like, truth be told, that need to be replayed again for this era right now. For these kids now, like, I'm not your role model. Don't look at me as your role model. Like, you need to find somebody else who's, a better role model than what I'm doing, because I'm already made it. Now you got to.
That's right. That's right.
and
what happens with role models, they're habits.
Yep.
And you're the first one to know your habits better than anybody.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't want you to follow me. Now, like I said to my big brother, I said, man, I just want to hang with you. He said, no, go find your own friends. And years later, I asked him, I said, how come you didn't let me hang out with you? He said, because I knew my friends and I knew what they were doing. That means I was doing it too, and I didn't want you part of it. Whoa. So when I got in my 40s, he asked me a question. Hey, man, how come we don't hang out? I said, because when you told me to go find my friends are not your friends. Your friends are your friends, and I don't hang out with any of them.
Have your own identity.
Love you to death. Die for you 1,000 times, but I ain't hanging with them. Me and you can hang, but when it comes to my friends, you may not like my friends, and I may not like you.
Exactly.
Yes, have your own identity. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Corsley Edwards II, retired drafted NBA player and coach. You can find him on IG at Corsley. That is CORSLEY 379. That's on IG. And you can find Coach Kenny Gray at the Coach Kenny Gray. Gray spelled with the A. And you can find me at DJ Kei-Touch.
All right.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Great show. Thank you.
Great time.